to kick off the season then with the reigning NTT INDYCAR Series champion, 16 titles and counting, and certainly they love nothing more than to get off to a strong Sunday afternoon. Joining us this morning, celebrating 35 years, 23 motorsports championships, and more than 260 race victories. Team owner Chip Ganassi. Good morning. Good morning, Chip. How are you? Good to see you.
Good morning. Good morning.
The longtime managing director on the far end, Mike Hull, joins us as well. Mike, good morning to you, sir. The driver of the number 8 Journey Rewards Honda, Kyffin Simpson, is here. Driving the number 9 PNC Bank, Chip Ganassi Racing Honda, Scott Dixon, and driving, of course, the number 10 DHL, Chip Ganassi Racing Honda, Alex Palou. Chip, we'll start with you, celebrating, as mentioned, 35 years, which is incredible. It seems like yesterday, right, when you just got started.
Well, it doesn't quite like yesterday, but, yeah.
I mean, obviously, 35 years, still very much at the top of the game, still very much in championship contention. What has been the secret to consistency over the years?
Well, I think, I mean, it starts with people, starts with great people, starts with great drivers. I mean, there's nothing new there. I think, but I think what our...
Yeah, grab this mic.
I think what our guys are able to do, we're working now? Yeah. I think what they're able to do is, each year reassess what's going to be important that year. You have to, in sports today, I said in my quote there that we're like a 35-year-old startup company, and I think, what great people are able to do, the great people on our team are able to do, is each year sort of redefine the mission and the vision. In these days in sports, you have the obvious things with racing, like finishing races and whatever. But we're down to today in the world of communication. You have group chats and. It's just not it's very hard to control the narrative with just your public relations people or whatever. So you have a lot of communication going on today in the world that you didn't have 25 years ago, and in sports especially, and a lot of information flow. When you have change of people and whatever, so you're always. You have to redefine the mission every year and take a look at your vision. So when you redefine that mission, you regroup, you reacclimate, and you go forward. I mean, but each year you need to take a fresh look at it. And I think that's what our people are able to do, which makes it so exciting. When you have great people and great drivers, each year the tires change a little bit, the car center pressure changes, the rocket or somebody comes up with a new wing or a new whiz bang thing you need on the car, and you have to all readjust the drivers need to readjust their driving style, and that's what these guys are able to do year in and year out. Assess what the challenge is, accept that challenge, and move forward.
Keeping up with the times, obviously, is important. Mike, next up for you, if you want to talk about 35 years, quite a milestone, and just maybe kind of talk through what Chip described as consistency over the years. You guys have done it.
Well, Chip's had Chip Ganassi Racing for 35 years, so in this case, he's got me age-wise, because I haven't been with Chip quite that long. I think what defines Chip Ganassi Racing is not for 90% of the people in motor racing. It's about forecasting change, and that's what Chip does an extremely good job of. And it's about drivers like we have up here this morning. We have 3 of the best drivers in the business driving for us, and that's what Chip does a really good job of also, is he's able to not necessarily hire those drivers, but find those drivers, and those are drivers that work together like these 3 do. And that's who we are. That's who we've always been. And I don't want to say the rest is history. That's not fair. But I think we've defined the history of IndyCar racing for a long, long time together, And together is the word that we use. We're together on this thing. And proud to be with them.
Yeah. It's a tremendous team concept you guys have had over the years. Kyffin, for you, I know last year was a great learning experience for you. What did you learn from 2024 that you can apply here to 2025?
Yeah, I learned to. Is this on?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep, sound good.
Yeah, is it? No, it's
There you
the
go.
other one.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it was a great start to my IndyCar career. I think 2024 was a good year for me. Felt like I was able to learn a lot and really get accustomed to IndyCar racing and just everything about it. So I think starting 2025, we're just going to need to be building on that and continue to push for some good results this year.
You want to talk about the Journey Rewards program as well? What did you learn about some of that and applying it this year? Just talk about that a little bit. Be great.
Yeah, it's great to have Journey Rewards back on the car this year. I changed up the colors a little bit this year, which is. Oh, did it?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, so it's great to see the car back out on track with some new colors, and great to have them back for another year.
Scott, welcome back. Year 25 for you, something like that.
Is it really?
Yeah, this is it.
Feels like number 2 or 3.
It feels that way, which is good. You got to go back to, like 2005, the last time you finished outside the top 10 in the championship, and arguably now the championship is as tough as it's ever been. What's been the secret for you? You talked a lot about consistency. You've been consistent, obviously.
Yeah, I think 04 and 05 were definitely years that we tried to forget at the team. But obviously, I think the years that we learned the most as well, and definitely built a fantastic foundation for the future. But no, it's been last year. I think for us, we got off to a great start. Led the championship. At the first half of the season, I think, and then it kind of went downhill pretty quickly with a lot of things I thought they were kind of out of our control. But luckily, well, not luckily, but Alex and the 10-car team did a fantastic job to, go back-to-back, which was huge for him and huge for this team. And I'd like to think that, the off-season for us has been huge in the fact of, diving in deep and understanding what we need to do, obviously, for this season as well. So I think all of us are quietly confident. I think the team's always confident and looking forward to, another strong year and hopefully a championship for the 35th anniversary.
There you go. Speaking of which, Alex, for you, there's a lot of talk about a three-peat, or at least that possibility. Hasn't happened since Dario Franchitti in 2011. So he was driving for, who was that team that he was driving for? Okay.
INDYCAR.
Yeah. How do you make it happen in 2025, champ?
Session by session. I mean, it's been an amazing 2 years going back to back. It's been very different. I would say that 23, we felt we had a lot of speed everywhere, and we were winning a lot of races. And last year we had a lot more issues, a lot more mistakes on track as well. And we just want to get back on form. So as Scott and Kyffin and Chip and Mike said, we've been digging deep this off season to try and be a little bit better in places that we normally struggle a little bit more, like St. Pete, for example. It's been a place that myself personally have been struggling in the past. So hopefully we can start the year off strong and finish off strong.
Yeah. One other thing before we open up for questions, you want to talk about a really cool DHL program you guys kind of announced yesterday with an employee on the rear wing, and they're coming to the track each and every weekend. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we're going to have different names of small company owners throughout the states, and they're going to be on the rear wing. So if we win, they're going to have their name on victory lane as well. So yeah, that's a goal.
Going to need another hat in victory lane so they can celebrate with you for sure. All right, we'll open it up for questions. Bob has the microphone. We'll start with Bruce Martin from Speed Sport and Force. Bruce.
Fox begins a new era with INDYCAR this weekend, and they've really been knocking it out of the park as far as promotion and marketing. And just to get how exciting and how important is that from a business standpoint to have that type of promotion from a major network like Fox, especially with all the viewers they got for the Super Bowl commercials?
Yeah, I think obviously, we've seen I don't know if there's ever been a network that had the Super Bowl, the IndyCar Series, and the Indianapolis 500 all in the same year. So it makes for a lot of great cross promotions. And I think, I go back to Fox when they became Fox Sports. I remember, before, way back, and Fox Sports, and we were all thinking at the time, gosh, Fox Sports, how can you possibly do a better job than ESPN, in the day of putting racing on live television? And when you've been around this business as long as I have, you remember when races used to be on a tape delay, or a week delay or whatever. Then it was the same day delay. Then it was live. And when Fox came in, we all thought, gosh, nobody could possibly do better, like I said, than ESPN. And they blew it out of the park. And now you have, here we are, 25 years later or whatever, you have an executive there in charge of Fox Sports that's from Indiana. He gets IndyCar racing. He likes IndyCar racing. And he's always wanted to be involved with the Indianapolis 500, and here he is now doing it. And, so I think when you certainly have the pieces and the foundation of a great structure to build going forward, if you will.
Mike?
The other day in the building, Eric Shanks came to the building. And after the time that he spent with all the employees at Chip Ganassi Racing, I walked around the shop floor. And maybe that answers the question for you, Bruce. The enthusiasm that he has for IndyCar racing was very, very evident. That in itself doesn't sell IndyCar racing, but I think Fox Sports that he represents does. And we're excited to be part of this. We're excited to be part of Fox, certainly. And you'd be remiss if you didn't say thank you to NBC for all the effort that they put into this thing for a long, long time. But I think sometimes when you study the competition, we do that, you learn from what they do and you make it better. And that's what Fox Sports is very apparent that they're going to do. They're going to make it better for all of us that are in this room. Look at the view that somebody's provided for you guys here today. Racing at places like this are what Fox Sports are going to take and catapult onto the next level. So we're excited about this. We're excited about what the opportunity is. So
and for Alex, over 125 million people saw the Super Bowl telecast, and your commercials were there. So over 100 million people now know who Alex Palou is, and just how important is that to get that type of connection and name recognition on that broad of a group of people?
Yeah, it was fun. It was huge. I think they did an amazing job on the 3 commercials they did so far for IndyCar, making it look as cool as IndyCar is, fast and entertaining. So yeah, I just feel super lucky that that I got a commercial on the Super Bowl. Obviously, it's as big as it gets to get a commercial there, and it's not only been there. It's been during the NASCAR races. It's been on fuel stations in Indy that I've saw people posting. So it's great. I mean, as Mike and Chip said, the effort that they are putting, I think it's already surpassed all the expectations, and I think there's more to come. So I'm excited to see how they do throughout the season, but I know that it's going to be great for us.
Bob Parkhurst, Fox Sports. Scott, what happened on the first day of testing at Sebring? And I know you've been around for a long time, but do you feel behind at all, having lost a day?
Yeah, it's definitely not ideal, but those are the circumstances that you have sometimes. So, I think luckily, the teammates across, our situation definitely, helped being able to test a lot of the stuff that we maybe didn't get to. But I think any track time is big. Obviously now when we only get kind of one day before the season, that definitely magnifies that a little bit. But you can't do anything about that.
Chris?
Chris Hagan, Fox Indianapolis. This is for Alex. I know you don't pat yourself on the back and you just worry about the next session, but as competitive as the series is right now, do you appreciate what it is to repeat and how difficult it will be to try to go out there and do it again?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, every night before going to bed, I do a little bit on my... I'm joking. But it's been amazing. I feel super lucky to have the opportunity I have every day to be in a competitive series, but then on a competitive environment with the 10 cars. It's amazing. I don't give that for granted. I know there's a lot of people that is trying to catch up and trying to get better, but we're doing the same. Like as you can see, in 35 years of history in the team, they've won 16 INDYCAR championships. If they were not hungry in the building, they would have won 1 or 2, maybe 3. But everybody here is super hungry to get more, and we don't look back.
Let's go Nathan Brown here in the front row, Bob. Thank you.
First question's for Scott. Scott, I know of all the places that you have won in your career, St. Pete is not yet one of them. What would that mean to you to be able to tick another box on this track this season?
Yeah, it'd be big. It's a place I've always wanted to win. I think we've come close, several times. I think we've had 7 or 8 podiums. So I don't know. Got to keep knocking on the door, and hopefully it's going to open at some point. I know some years we came very close, and maybe if we hadn't made a couple of mistakes, or even 2 years ago, I think with how the caution fell and we got caught out by the blend line, that kind of really hurt. But yeah, hopefully we can have a smooth weekend across all the cars, and hopefully it's 3 or 5 of us voting for that one.
And I know there's been a lot of changes in IndyCar this offseason between leadership, talks about new car, things like that. As a veteran of this sport, what do you make of the changes that have taken place as we get started with this season this year?
Change is inevitable. Obviously, I think the biggest change was when Penske came in and definitely took over the series. I think that's been huge. I think for the sport and for us and stability. Obviously, we'll have to see where these recent changes kind of take us. But yeah, it's been some big ones.
Thanks.
More questions in person right behind you. There you go, Bob. Jenna.
Kip, a lot of team owners have other business. What made you take that career trajectory and stick with it and spend 35 years and make this your life's work?
I had a smart-ass answer for that. I'm too lazy to work and too nervous to steal, and that's all that was left. All that was left was racing. Yeah. I don't know. Obviously, when I got into racing, I was just trying to, avoid getting a real job, if you will, back in the day. And, in the early 80s, when I got involved in IndyCar racing, the sport wasn't as great as it is now. The sport wasn't, wasn't recognized as a real business, if you will. It was a sport of kings. But I think IndyCar racing a viable business for people like Chip Ganassi, or today, like a viable business like Mike Shank, or you don't have to be a multi-millionaire to have an IndyCar business, if you will. So I think that that's how the sport, from my point of view, has changed quite a bit in 35 years. It's more people know about it. It's recognized as and you can have a business and go out and you can beat billionaires, at it. No, I said you can beat. No, I beat those guys. I beat those guys. Yeah.
What would you be if you? What would you have done? What would you be if you weren't in racing?
That's a great question. I haven't thought about that for a while. I'll have to. Off the cuff, no, I wouldn't be an astronaut. No, I don't know. Yeah, that's a great question. Maybe a pilot, maybe a jet pilot or something. Yeah.
You got all weekend to think about that, Chip.
Yeah.
Get back to us later.
I haven't thought about that one in a while. Thanks.
Let's go, Jamie, in the white jacket. Go ahead, Jamie.
Hi, good morning. Good to see all of you again. Glad to be here. This one's for Kyffin. We haven't officially met yet, but I'm just curious, being on this team, you hear the history of Chip Ganassi Racing, your second year here. What do you take from the guys alongside you, and how are they able to help you and grow in this sport?
Yeah, I mean, you just learn so much from them. Even just sitting in the same engineering room as them, you just, you catch little things that they say, how they talk to their engineers, how they portray the feelings that they have from the car to their engineers, little things like that. And, I get to see all their data in video as well, which is a huge help for me as well. So all these little things that add up for me and just help me develop my skills and just help me push me to be the best that I can.
More questions in person. There's one in the back. Thanks, Joanne.
Hi, Eddie Fior with USFMotionation.com. For Chip and Mike, you guys are returning to Indy Next in 2025. What excites you about being back in the series, and what are you looking to get out of your Indy Next program?
Yeah, I'd say, Indy Next for us has, we've always looked at it as a place that can bring along not only sponsors and team members, but drivers as well. We've had a lot of success, with guys that have come out of that series from time to time. So, and it deserves a closer look by our team, and I think that's why we're there. And we've been in other forms of racing over the years, and it's kind of nice to have everybody in one location now this season. So I don't have to be running between racetracks on the weekend. So I think it's kind of nice. I'm looking forward to it. I think we have two great young guys driving the cars. We have a good people have commented about how good our cars look prepared. So let's hope they go as fast as they look, and we'll be okay.
Thanks for the question, first of all. I think what Chip Ganassi Racing has done for a long, long time is when a vacuum opens, we fill it. And we had an extraordinary run in sports car racing for a long, long time. We want to do that again, certainly. Presently, there's not an opportunity to do it the right way. And so we had people. We have shop space. And we have an opportunity. And we've never looked at opportunity as being a short-term solution to the loss of a product. We've looked at it as an opportunity to move forward. And so that's what Indy Next does for us. Plus the fact that Roger Penske is pushing it really, really hard. Let's face it. It's part of his dynamic going forward, and we want to be part of that going forward. And so we've done it for more than one reason. But the retention of people and being able to find out close hand who the drivers are in Indy Next going forward is a big, big opportunity for us. And we're proud to be part of the program here at IndyCar Racing, which includes Indy Next.
Take one more question in person and take one off Zoom before we wrap up. Go ahead, sir.
There we go. Don Hopkins, the front stretch gentleman, for all of you. I'm just kind of curious on what your thoughts were of the charter announcement. Were you surprised to see that come to IndyCar?
Chip, you want to try that one?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
About the charter program.
The charter announcement. Were you guys surprised to see that come to IndyCar? What was your take on that when it was announced?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great thing. I've said before, I thought, that maybe that's something that doesn't doesn't translate down to fans per se. I don't know that it's a fan-centric decision by the series, but it's something that the team owners badly need, to have a solid, again, this goes back to my earlier comments about being a viable business. And that's what the charter system does, is it makes these teams be a viable business. And if you have strong teams, you're going to have a strong series. You're going to, it just trickles down from there. You'll have strong races, and you'll be on solid footing on a worldwide basis. Yeah, I think it's something that happened in IndyCar racing that I think someone's going to look back on. Maybe it doesn't seem that way right now, a year or two down the road, but you're going to look back on the charter system someday and say, boy, that was a big move in the sport. Yeah.
Yeah, I would answer that question by, you should ask that question to Ed Carpenter.
Right.
Right? I mean, the thing is right away in the short term, he found a partner to help raise the level of his team. And I think that's what you're going to see going forward at the behest of the charter system, is the strengthening of the teams to be solid. Currently, there's 25 charters. I don't think that's going to go up, and I don't know if it's going to go down. But the reality is I think Chip hit on it. It strengthens the financial aptitude of the people that are in the series. And the series is growing. Certainly Fox is part of that, but I think the IndyCar series generally, with the stature that it's going to have going forward, will be enhanced by the charter system.
Let's take one off Zoom, then we'll wrap up here in person. Archie O'Reilly from Diabon Motorsports. Go ahead and mute yourself.
Thanks, Dave. First of all, for Scott, coming into every season, you hear about records you could break, and as Dave says, 25 years, the sort of longevity. Does that concept of legacy, breaking records, matter to you, and what are your feelings when you hear this sort of stuff?
I don't know. I just want to win. So I don't know. I don't really look back. I just look, forward to the next race. Starting a new season. For me, the fire still burns very strong, and honestly, all I'm focused on is winning this weekend. So I think a lot of the times I've mentioned, I think once you lead the sport, hopefully you're happy with what you've achieved along the way. But yeah, I just care about this weekend, man.
And what would you say kind of remains the biggest motivation almost?
Getting beat. Probably the biggest motivation.
That's good stuff. And for Alex, it's been a massive rise for you over, only 5 years in IndyCar. When you kind of first moved over here with Dale Coyne Racing, what were your expectations? And did you expect to have 3 championships in 5 years in IndyCar?
No, I did not expect that. My expectation was to try and get be part of IndyCar, try and be here for a long time. But then, Chip decided to give me the best car and the best opportunity to try and win races from the second year. So yeah, I did not expect that, but I love it.
Cheers, guys. Best of luck. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Archie. We'll wrap it up in person. Jenna, again?
I just wanted to close with Chip on the open AI thing. That's a completely new to motorsports sponsor. How difficult is it right now to find new companies, especially these big tech companies that are new in changing the world, and get them involved into motorsports?
Yeah, that's a good question, Jenna. How difficult is it? I don't know. Sometimes it seems really difficult, but you find someone that's you just start a conversation someday with somebody, and the next thing you find out there are people in the company that are interested, and it seems to it seems easy then. It's when you meet the right people that are interested, it's fine. I think it's when you're trying to talk people into it that don't care about it, that's difficult. But there are a lot of I hate to use the word synergies, but values, common values, common goals. Obviously, there's nobody more. We've been lucky over the years to be associated with a lot of great brands, and I'm really proud of the brands that we've brought to the sport, that we've been involved with in the sport. Some of the biggest names in motor racing have been here at Chip Ganassi Racing, and I mean, there's nobody more current today than ChatGTP, and to have and what's more current than AI? We've all played with it on our phones, and we're all learning as we go along how valuable of a tool that is in every aspect of our life. Every aspect of our life. I mean, I'm just amazed myself, just starting to play with it the last month or so, and so we're very, very excited. Obviously, it's going to help with our engineering and our R&D, and I just couldn't be more excited about it. I'm telling you, that's nobody more current, and I sent a tweet to Sam Altman the other day, and he gave me a heart. So I'm kind of excited about that. Yeah. So.
What kind of questions do you get when you go into ChatGTP?
I'll exactly tell the truth. Let me look. I'll show you, because it keeps a record on them. It keeps a record of the questions you ask it. Yeah.
This could be dangerous.
Yeah, this could be dangerous. Right. Let's see here. Wait. Wait. Okay, I can't find it now. I mean, I can't find it. No, but I asked one day, what were the 10 most efficient. I don't want to get into that. I can't tell you that story. No, I asked it to write a thank you note. I said, how would you write a thank you note to someone who is a tech person and they wrote a thank you note. If you want to write it this way, and if you want to write it that way, and it gave me 5 examples of how to write of a thank you note to a tech person versus a thank you note to someone you're in a relationship with or something. So I just thought it was great. I asked it about efficient business jets one day. What are the top 10 most efficient business jets and the prices they sell for? And I mean, it just rips off the information in 5 seconds. It's crazy. And I think I'll tell you, you might laugh at me, but I'll tell you what, each and every one of you should be on that platform. And I mean, it's just incredible what you can ask it and what it comes up with for answers. It's incredible. Yeah, you can ask it. Yeah, ask them what the odds. They'll give you the odds of all the people that it just loads up with data in seconds.
As I mentioned off the top, no better way to start off 2025 than with the reigning NTT IndyCar Series champs. Best of luck to you guys, Chip, Kyffin, Alex, Scott, Mike. Thanks for your time here this morning. Good luck this year. Reminder that the drivers will be available for some brief one-on-ones. Also a reminder that the 80Next by Firestone bullpen begins at 10:15 downstairs in the glass atrium. The NTT IndyCar Series driver bullpen begins at 10:30. Our next news conference up here will be immediately after the NTT IndyCar Series practice later this afternoon. Thanks, everyone.